Hey gamers, welcome back to another DSP video. That's right, I'll be watching this insane clip. Everyone's been talking about this clip, might as well throw my 2 cents as well. But I will say I was debating of watching the initial news story that triggered this, but I decided not to because a lot would be repetitive. It's just like, okay, he's just complaining that there's too many people to talk to. And I get that he just wants a more efficient system, sure, but there's also a lot of like reasons why they need to have all these like departments and all this stuff because YouTube is a big website. Like they can't consolidate these kind of things to like one person. That would be insane. So they need all this like all these measures so that they can like deal with it. Whatever. So there was just a lot of that. But the one thing he did bring up was the Comcast employee that happened. And this I was raising my eyebrow a little bit because I don't recall it taking forever or him talking to a lot of people to fix it. It just seemed that like he was just going through like the support ticket and he just had to wait to get an actual like person to talk to, and he just was getting impatient. Whatever. But then he said in January, this is the part that I got really confused with, right? He said that he was talking to someone in January and they also dropped the ball because they didn't resolve the issue. And I listened to that thinking, what issue wasn't resolved? The person that was fucking with your systems, with your internet, got fired, and they restored all this stuff back to what they were supposed to. So what wasn't resolved? So I don't know what he was talking about. That like, so if it wasn't resolved, does that mean it could happen again? So someone else can just fuck around with his internet settings? Like, what wasn't resolved? Unless he was like, he's talking about like he was trying to get them to do something that they didn't want to do or that they couldn't do, and he was like, see, they didn't resolve it, I guess. I mean, that was just kind of weird to say that they didn't resolve an issue, and it's like, I feel like that they did. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, that's not what we're here to discuss. We're here to discuss this insane little segment he did after the fact. So let's fucking go.
I received a $5.65 tip from Ponage 101 tipped,
Wow,
but it was in
like
relation to the previous story. Okay,
it took a while
so
for him
hold
to
on.
get the name. Like, why did it take so long for him to say Ponage 101? He said no pay pig. Come on. Come on now, dog. Come on.
So Ponage 101 did a $5.65 tip. Let's get him up on the leaderboard.
Get him up there.
And he says the following. The saddest thing about the whole scammer situation, if there was no negative stigma attached to you because of your longtime stalkers and detractors, people would listen to you more, and you'd have.
But this is insane though. Already off the bat to say that, well, it's a shame if you weren't trolled, people would listen to you. My guy, the fucking thing that was going on is like basic knowledge, and a lot of people who fall for these, they literally said, well, I guess I should have vetted the URL a little bit more and this and that, because there's a lot of like stuff that goes on, little like wrenches that are thrown into the situation. Like this, he was talking about how it was targeting the FGC, and the only one in the FGC I saw this effect mostly was that I think he was talking about was Rafflemonger. Because Rafflemonger was talking about how he lost his YouTube channel because he clicked on a phishing link, and he immediately was like, oh, well, you know, I should have like vetted the email better or something. Like he felt like, you know, it was like, you know, like, oh yeah, my bad, this is fucking stupid, whatever. But this is stuff that's like everyone knows, like, hey, be careful what you get emailed, like, and they've only been getting better. Like that's the other crazy thing, is that before it's like, okay, yeah, if you see a wonky paragraph that, you know, that's a giveaway, whatever. Now it's to the point where even the email can look very official. Like there was, like, you could like get an email that actually seems, that's so close to a company email that it's easy to mistake it. But you have to like And I would just recommend, like, if you see an email that looks official, always, like, Google that email and see if it's, like, put the company name, like, does the company email from this account? And then maybe it'll bring up, like, a page of, these are the emails we used. If you don't see that, that's a scam. I've done that with a lot of, like, junk mail that's like, okay, then I block the email because it's like, I don't want to see this at all anymore. I don't want to get, like, tricked overnight thinking like, oh wow, it's this, and then bam, scammed. So I always block that kind of email so I don't see it. But that's the point it's becoming, where it's just they're tweaking the email and just enough to almost seem official. And this is stuff that's like common knowledge on the internet. And things just happen anyway. I mean, people make mistakes. People accidentally click links anyway. And the funny thing is, this dude clicked a Super Puppy link. During the whole thing with Super Puppy, he was like yelling at like, "Oh, don't take down my streams!" Then he goes to his Twitter account, clicked the URL, and everyone, like, as far as the detractors are concerned, we knew, like, okay, guys, this URL like logs IPs, don't click it, whatever. And it's like, okay, yeah, I mean, of course, why would we, whatever. This dude just clicked it immediately, and then it was like, oh fuck, and then it was like in panic mode after that. And it's like, you want to listen to this guy? like this guy has, even if no one was trolling him, he's not very smart about anything. So this insane thing where like people should listen to you more is insane. Come on.
Have helped a lot more people, maybe other content creators, to avoid this situation. Yeah, this is what people don't realize is, oh, the memes, the jokes, the lulls, right? So what you...
This is like so stupid though, to have this much self-importance, because even let's say there were no trolls. I mean, again, look at the FAP incident. That was literally done by DSP. The trolls did not like egg him on to jerk off or something like that. That happened on his own. So that would already like discredit his like fucking stance in a lot of ways, because that's all he'd be known for. But even then, let's say that none of that happened, and he's still where he was in 2010 or whatever, right? In 2010, same guy. I don't think anyone would have listened to him, and he did bring him like Pippa and Sopa, and even then, I would argue other people have already talked about Sopa and Pippa enough that it was already like a hot topic. DSP, in my opinion, just kind of rode the wave of what other content creators were doing, because this dude is not creative at all. He didn't even know what Sopa and Pippa was. He just knew it was bad. Meanwhile, other YouTubers literally has explained what it is and how it would have affected the internet, that it made people like, okay, yeah, these are bad. DSP didn't even know what it was, did a video saying it's bad, and then called it a day. So I would think this is a dude worth listening to, because he doesn't even research what he wants to talk about, and DSP politics is literally the poster child of that situation, of that issue. It has not gone away.
What you did is, for a decade, you made DSP the butt of your joke, and when you did that, you destroyed my ability to ever help anyone on the internet, because no one takes...
But that's not even true, right? Because this dude acts as if like he was helping people, and then other people replied to him saying, you fapped on the internet and had a "this is how you don't play" video. Why would we listen to you, Philip? Bye. Like, that never happened. That never happened. And then when he tried to help other people, they did listen to him. This dude is so dedicated to thinking that since he had trolls, it discredited what he was saying, when it's matter-of-factly just how he carries himself in life is what that makes people discredit him the most. He has lied about so many other things. He openly tells us he lies every day to us. Well, not every day. That's an exaggeration. But he lied to protect his family. And then he went back on a lot of things. He said he'd never do this, and he ends up doing it. He said LEDs are dumb. He does LEDs. Like, these actions make him a uncredible person, because this dude has no backbone, has no way to, like, prove that he means what he says. So why would anyone listen to him anyway? He has besmirched his own credibility on his own. Like, everyone has basically said that about him anyway. Because, again, no matter what you read, no matter the context, he never stands for anything. Last of Us 2 is a low-hanging fruit example at this point. He will tell you what the political agenda is in that game, depending who he's talking to. If he's talking to a dude that says that there's too many liberal things like trans people or whatever, he's gonna say, yeah, man, that game is very propaganda, man. Yeah. Then someone will reply to him saying, no, Phil, there's no such thing. So it's not a political thing, whatever the fuck. And then he'd say, no, I'm talking about the reviewers giving the game 10s. That's the agenda. And it's like, what are you talking about? What's your stance? Like, he has torpedoed his own credibility by just not standing for anything and just going back and forth on a lot of other things. I don't want to go back on Twitch, goes back to Twitch. I don't want to stream on YouTube, streams on YouTube. I don't want to do politics content, does politics. Like, he's his own worst enemy than any other troll out there. If he wasn't being trolled, people would eventually realize this dude stands for nothing and not take him seriously at all. This dude is a joke.
Me seriously, right? Now,
right?
To some extent this year that did change. Okay, and I'm happy for that. Really, I am. Like, I'm happy that now there are some
How did it change? What changed? He got fuffed up by Kino Casino, and that's it. He still gets the same amount of viewers. He's still carried by the same few whales in his community. And people still laugh at him. Like, how did it change? What clout did he gain?
People who listen, and it's I got a little bit of clout back, at least, okay? But when you make someone,
but like, what does that mean? I got a little bit of clout back. What does that mean? That they got clout because he was able to do interviews? I mean, everyone was already willing to do interviews with him. He just turned it down because, get this, he perceived everyone else that they were only getting interviews to make fun of him. So he put himself in a cage and said everyone put him there. And then, like, Kino Casino, like, broke him out of the cage, and they said, see, I got a little bit of it back. But it's just, everyone was already, like, doing that for him, right? Everyone wanted to do an interview with him. It's just, he put himself in a cage. Just because he felt like that he got Keemstar on his little podcast, that he thinks that he has all his clout. But Keem was already, like, wanting to discuss shit with DSP and wanted him on Lolcow Live. So there was already a predisposition for Keem to, like, acknowledge DSP. Like, that's where it is at this point.
The laughing stock of the internet, and you run with memes and you just make them a living meme even though they have nothing to fucking do with it. That's what happens. Remember, before all that happened, I used to be someone who could make a video about an impending law or bill that was going to be passed in the United States that could very negatively affect a ton of people, and people would listen.
Again, he didn't know what the bill was, and again, if you just go back in, like, 2010 or whatever the fuck Sopa and Pippa were a thing, other people were already discussing it. By the time he uploaded a video, to me, I would argue, he was just doing it for clout chasing. He wanted to be put into the algorithm with other people who were talking about it. That's why he did it. Everything this dude has done in his career has always been based on what other people did. I don't believe he did it out of the goodness of his own heart. He just did it because other people were doing it. Oh, I have a YouTube channel, and these other YouTubers are doing it. I should do it too. Like, everything he has done is because other people did it. Like, come on.
I made that bill about SOPA, Pippa, S.978, all that shit back in the day, over 10 years ago. Those videos got hundreds of thousands of views.
Yeah, because everyone was talking about it. Everyone was making videos about it, so your video about it got thrown into the algorithm. Like, this is why it was really dumb of him. Because he supposedly got an offer to be put into a book. He supposedly turned it down. And I'm sitting there like, yeah, you didn't get an offer. Like, I'm sorry. Like, this is why people, like, want proof of things. Because you can't make statements like this and have people believe you. Come on.
And got people talking about the subject. They got more people informed and involved and active in our government, and to stop it, and none of that shit passed. And then all of a sudden, oh, Phil's a joke because this is how you don't play.
But again, like, the reason he was a joke for This How You Don't Play was just how he reacted to it. And he told us, I reacted very poorly. So it was already an issue with him himself. Because again, when you look at the chain of events, a lot of this was egged on or just made worse by him himself. So it's had nothing to do with This How You Don't Play being made. It was just how he reacted to it, which is a point of character. It's his own issue. And he blames other people for making the video. No, dumbass. It's how you reacted to it. Because guess what? When you respond to something like that, it's gonna make people want to make fun of you even more. And the way you act made people discredit you. And you yourself have hurt your own reputation and your own validity all by yourself, man. Like, again, if you take the trolls out, and the trolls never existed, it would have naturally happened. People would realize this guy doesn't stand for anything, and he lies. He's dishonest to his own viewers. He's very opportunistic with things he's against. When he has nothing to gain, he's against it. But when he can gain from it, then he'll change his mind and say it's actually pretty good, guys. So it means nothing. It's immaterial for him to sit there and act as if, like, guys, the trolls, they discredited me. No, you did that to yourself, man. If you just laughed at This How You Don't Play and just went and rolled with the punches, people would have probably more respect for you anyway. But instead, this dude decides to call people crazy and, like, get mad at people and then just treat his audience with passive aggressively. Like, again, he has yelled at his own audience multiple times, and a lot of times it's not because of the trolls. It's because the audience isn't doing what he wants them to do sometimes. It has nothing to do, again, he could, because if he truly was a virtuous person and he was doing stuff to help people, then why does he need all these ass pats for him to help people? If you want to help someone, you're not asking yourself, will they believe me or this or that? You would do it, right? Like, it's really like this fallacy of, like, a nice person will not sit there and say, guys, I'm so nice. I'm such a nice guy. Guys, I'm so nice. I'm doing this because I'm so nice. I'm so fucking nice. They would just do it, and then people would just think that naturally or whatever. Like, it's something that you have to lead by example, I guess. That's the phrase that I'm trying to think of. But you can't just gain trust by just waiting for people to be like, yeah, man, let's respect him. No, you have to, like, actually work to get that. And if you're gonna sit there and say, guys, no one's gonna trust me, man. Like, come on.
Because of this reason or that reason. It's like, you pathetic fucking excuses for humans. Allow me to repeat myself. You pathetic fucking excuses for humans who thought.
Look how proud he is to say this.
Keep myself.
He had to like find the button on his little Stream Deck.
You pathetic fucking excuses for humans who thought that it was in everyone's best interest.
No one made fun of DSP thinking about the greater good of society. Like, this is really, and this is a very, like, self-righteous nonsense that people would, like, hate someone more. Like, if someone said this to you, you probably would not think this guy is cool. You probably think this guy's a piece of shit.
To try to make someone a living joke for a decade.
No, you did that to yourself. I'm sorry. Again, just because someone made it This How You Don't Play of you playing MGS3 and MGS2 and 3, and people are like, wow, this guy sucks at video games, that doesn't really mean anything. But the fact that, like, you were getting mad at your own audience about this. I mean, again, look at about the capture card situation, right? People were telling him, why don't you get a capture device? It's gonna make your content look better. No, I'm not gonna do that, you piece of shit. I don't sit there and do this and sit in a criminal chair and do that. I wanna sit here and point a camera at a TV, idiot. Like, was that because of the trolls? Did the trolls, like, possess you and make you, like, yell at your own audience that tried to help you? No. And then guess what? He went back and got a capture card anyway, or a capture device. So, this firm stance he had about how he wants to keep filming with the camera immediately went away, and he bought a capture device, and he never once apologized for yelling and screaming at his own audience that tried to help him. Look at back when he built the PC. He got angry at his audience when he was setting up the gaming PC. He had to go on the podcast the next day and be like, guys, I'm so sorry I yelled at you. Like, but he only apologized because someone either complained or he was like, oh, you know, or people were making fun of him over it. It wasn't because he was genuine. Nothing this dude is sincere at all. And he's saying, oh, it's because the trolls made fun of him. No, dude. It's because of you. You did this to yourself.
Who used to actually try to go out of their way to help people. But it's, you know, as long as...
Wait, what?
To try to make someone a living joke for a decade. Who used to actually try to go out of their way to help people.
Okay. Did he help anyone? Again, the only time he talks about doing charity is, or, charity, whatever, was when he was doing Habitat for Humanity, and guess what, guys? He did that because the school required him. So you're telling me, right? Like, it is insane to me that he uses that to brag about helping people when the only instance of him doing charity work is when his school required him. That's not really anything to brag about. My school also required me to do volunteer work. Should I brag about that? I'm so helpful. I did volunteer work for my high school, guys. They told me I had to do it, and I did it. Aren't I cool? No. You did it because for a school assignment. If I did this on my own without anyone telling me to do it, then I can brag about it. But again, who brags about fucking charity work? And this dude is like, oh, see, I used to do this. This to me is not what charitable people do. No one sits there and is like, oh, you know, I used to help people and get attention for it, and now you made fun of me so I couldn't do that anymore. If you're truly a helpful person, you wouldn't care about that. But every time he has helped anyone, he always brags about helping people. Because I'm sure there are instances of him helping people as a content creator, and a lot of the times it's just to make him look good. So it comes off disingenuous how he does it, because he does it for ass pats. Because if he was truly like a virtuous person who did charitable work or was willing to help people, we wouldn't have this little segment today. He wouldn't have talked about this if he was truly a helpful person.
But it's, you know, as long as everyone can laugh at this meme that they recognize, that's cool. Forget about the fact that, you know, I've been around for 16 years. I'm well informed on internet, gaming, YouTube issues. I could definitely give...
But a lot of his takes about this is anyone can have the same take. Guys, I think people who are paid off by video game companies is bad. What a take, Phil. No one thought that ever. Wow. Guys, give him a round of applause. Wow, this guy is so brave. He said what everyone was thinking. Man, what's gonna be the next thing? Murder is wrong? Wow, what a brave take from Philip Burnell.
Informed takes and things like that. No, who cares about that?
What informed takes? This dude he's not informed at all about anything. At all.
Right? No. Instead, we have to laugh today collectively at something like a bunch of brain dead cow.
But guess what? He does this too, though. He did that to Rich. And he wants to talk about how he wants to bring down Rich, and he got revenge. By the way, DSP has made it a personality to say, guys, I don't hold a grudge. I would never hold a grudge. I don't take delight in seeing people's downfall. But this past few months, he has taken delight in Rich's downfall. What he perceives a current downfall. Meanwhile, Rich has been a lolcow for years. This isn't the first time Rich has been made fun of. Who the fuck's calling? It's Scam! Ah, of course. Of course, it's Scam. I am not talking to you. I don't know you. But he took delight in Rich's downfall. He then says that, oh, I got back at him for making fun of me, man. Well, what a nice guy. He waited until Rich's downfall for him to suddenly bite back. Wow, man. And now he's saying how dare you make fun of me to help someone? So then why are you bringing down Rich? What if Rich wants to help someone? What if Rich has informed takes? But no, since Rich did the grave sin of saying, well, guys, DSP fapped on May 1st. We gotta bring him down, right? Like, just out, like, everyone has a lot of issues with Rich. Everyone dislikes Rich. Rich is a piece of shit. You all know this. But what did he do to DSP that was so bad that DSP is in the right in bringing him down? He isn't. He isn't. Just simply not, it's not equivalent or proportional in what Rich did to DSP in this kind of way. But again, if DSP is such a man of the people, he wouldn't be focusing on bringing down others because he was wronged. So everything about this dude's personality is flawed, and not flawed like in an interesting, like a character flaw kind of way, just flawed in a piece of shit kind of way, where this dude is a fake ass person.
Sheep have to have this herd-like mentality of just dunce level intelligence. So let's just degrade DSP.
Again, I want to just mention that he said it was okay for people to laugh at This Is How You Don't Play. He even uploaded his own channel. KO Gaming had a few videos that other people made that were This Is How You Don't Play. But now it's bad. It's back to being bad. See how opportunistic this guy is? When he's willing to use something to like prop himself up on some kind of pedestal, he'll do it. He'll do whatever. He'll do whatever that suits the situation. And that's not really a good trait to have.
Even though he has stuff to say that could help people. Ignore all of it because, you know, he's a joke, right?
But again, look at the chain of events of the scam situation. He only talked about it after the fact, and when he covered it, by the way, it was just stuff that other people knew, or other people covered in some kind of way, or whatever. Like him saying, guys, don't click on phishing links is basic help 101. Basic internet help 101. Like, and it's not even new. What he said over this week of him talking about internet scams isn't even new. It wasn't even a new tactic that he was exposing. I have seen more people expose actual scams that are actually like stuff that you wouldn't expect. Like, this is a vague memory, so, you know, don't quote me on this or whatever. Maybe someone knows what I'm talking about, but there was like a scam that was going around where it's like someone will come out on a YouTube video, and depending on what's typed and how you reply to that is what they use to like scam you or whatever. It was some weird like YouTube comment thing. It was very bizarre in that kind of way, and it's like, you know, I didn't know that could happen. And it's ever changing. There's people who are going over more and more stuff that's like, yeah, this is a new way to scam. Look out for this. Look out for that. Like all this other stuff that is far more like nefarious and like other level. But DSP's big scam segment that he talked about was, guys, I got a DM from on Twitter at X that was trying to get me to click on a link. Wow, man. Wow. You know, like, if you talk about Twitch emotes on Twitter, you'll get DM'd I heard you're looking for Twitch emotes. I have commissions and I'll make you an emote for you. Or whatever. You'll get all kinds of weird ass DMs like that. Is that, like, refreshing? Wow. Guys, that's new. You guys never heard of that, right? It's not even new. And he's acting as if he just discovered this.
No, fuck you.
Fuck you.
You really mouth-drooling fucking morons. Because for a greater part of a decade, you're the ones who degraded human existence and fried everyone's fucking brain.
And then to, like, heighten up the detractors to this level is also cartoonish. It's both. This is insane. He both inflates himself by saying that, like, he had a lot of things to say that and he could have helped thousands of people, and he also inflates the trolls that now we are diminishing society for saying DSP is a lol cow. I mean, there's worse things that has happened to people on the internet than what has happened with DSP. Like, just if you look at it, I mean, come on.
Brain cells with your idiotic, just trivial shit. It's just so trivial. Decade.
Maybe you should learn how to talk before you.
You're the ones who degraded human existence and fried everyone's fucking brain cells with your idiotic, just trivial shit.
Trivial, but. This dude is sitting there saying, I don't do hypnosis, I don't do this, but then he's saying that we're apparently frying society. What?
It's just so trivial.
If it's trivial what we do, then it shouldn't affect you, correct?
Trivial, nonsensical garbage. But you got your lols, you got your laughs, right? You made a buck on the internet, right? Yeah, and now we're all dumb.
What buck did I make? I didn't make a buck doing this. Come on now, dog.
Now look at the fucking world, right?
But this... What? I'll never understand, like, how does he conflate where our society is to the existence of DSP detractors? That is insane. That's an insane take. We're not that important. And neither is he. Even if we didn't exist, I don't think anyone would be listening to him anyway. There's so many people that give out good advice that no one listens to anyway. I mean, come on. It's just how people are. If I come down the street and I tell you, guys, listen to me. It's very important that you drink bleach. Drink it right now. Does that mean that you're going to distrust me off the bat? No. You're like, I don't know who you are. Why are you telling me to drink bleach all of a sudden? No, crazy. I know what bleach is. I mean, come on, dog.
Look at how stupid people are on the fucking internet. Because this is what you did. You made a joke out of everything. So now here we are in the modern day.
So, but I think, maybe I'm over analyzing, because maybe in general what he's addressing is just the notion of, like, making everything a joke. But it's like, again, it's very situational. I mean, people can make a joke of anyone, but that doesn't mean that person has loses their right to, like, stand up for themselves, correct? Like, if DSP is truly a person that has a lot to say, that is helpful, he can still go on and say things that he wants to say. The fact that he's so willing to, that he's insinuating that he can't, that he won't speak up because he thinks that no one will take him seriously, means that this guy doesn't have any faith in himself. So why listen to someone that has zero faith in themselves? Like, I'm sorry, if you have no confidence, I'm not even gonna, like, no one's gonna listen to you. They'll just be like, okay, cool, man, and then they'll walk away. But if you have confidence and you, like, talk about what you think what should be done, sure, someone may still disagree with you, but you said your piece on the matter. Like, and it's insane for this dude to have this kind of take and have a politics show, because half the time when you do a politics show, you have to have at least some confidence in what you're saying, or have at least some kind of insight or knowledge, or just an idea, just a backbone. Again, like, if you're right, left, or whatever, you at least have to understand what, like, your own viewpoint on something. That's why, like, half the time when he does his politics show, I try to at least, like, understand what story he's talking about. So I try to read up on something, And that's why, like, some of these politics shows, I do bring up like what I've read and what I think about it. I'm not gonna say, well, like whatever. But it's like half the time you have to like kind of know, have some kind of confidence, and not care about what other people will think. The only time that you have to really think about that is if it's all situational, I guess. But this dude is saying like, you made a joke of everything. But the thing that people are making fun of him for is just the stuff he says, like this. If he was sitting there and if he just did the segment about the Comcast thing that was going on, or the hacking shit, right? Sure, that's fine. Leave it at that. He said his piece. But then he goes on this little tangent about, I would have helped so many more people if people didn't make fun of me. No, it's your actions that speaks for you, not what we determine what to listen to. The fact that he brings this up, it just discredits him in my eyes, because you can't just sit there and keep talking about how other people won't take you seriously. I'm not gonna take you seriously if you bemoan how no one else will take you seriously. You're asking to be not taken seriously at that point.
Okay? And I get approached by a scammer, all right? And I tell you guys about it. And thankfully, some people did listen. I'm happy that some people listened, and hopefully this helped avoid some people having their businesses, their livelihoods, their YouTube channels messed up. I really hope it did. But if I were anywhere near...
But in reality though, his audience doesn't even listen to him. Think about it. He told his audience, don't tie any of your accounts together, don't do this, don't do that. All of them, in one way or another, did the opposite of that. Like, that's why like people figured out about Darziak, because he linked everything together basically. Like, they made it so easy for other people to realize who they are because they didn't listen to what DSP told them to. So his own audience doesn't even listen to him. His fans.
As big as I used to be, and people actually took me seriously rather than, oh, it's that guy, that joke on the internet that everyone makes fun of, probably I would have helped a lot more people. Do you understand? So you got your law, and people actually took me seriously rather...
But it's what you say will make people take you seriously. If they listen to you and you say dumb shit, they're gonna be like, yeah, this guy's he doesn't know what he's talking about. And half the time he does, because like the Argentina memberships that he keeps complaining about. He's like, I try to tell YouTube about this, but it's like a deeper... The thing with the Argentina memberships is that it's a global currency, and this is the internet. So like all this stuff gets affected in different ways. And I don't know how YouTube works with currencies, because again, how would it be? Because how is it that... Because I think Twitch has a universal sub price. Because I don't know if Twitch subs are cheaper in Argentina either. If that's the case, then wouldn't that be an issue on Twitch as well? Like, what does Twitch do that curtails or change or isn't affected by that, versus YouTube? It's affected by that in that kind of way. Like all this stuff, it all like has other things that are affecting it, but he doesn't understand that, and he just assumes, well, they need to fix this. This is a loophole. But like, what are they gonna do? Like, what is the proposed solution? Like, if you're not even understanding what their problem is, then what are you complaining about? Like, come on.
Rather than, oh, it's that guy, that joke on the internet that everyone makes fun of, probably I would have helped a lot more people. Do you understand?
But he doesn't reach out or try to help other people. He tells us every day he wants to stay in his lane and play games and have fun. Again, how often is it that DSP reaches out to help someone and they say, oh, you're the joke? Everyone he has reached out to has responded to him as a person. Like, he replies to so many people, and I don't see them reply back, well, you're the guy who fapped. It's other people that reply to him that the other dude doesn't care about them because they're not talking to them. This dude is insane. He thinks that like his clout is so important, but all clout kind of is just like what you can pull off with other people and what kind of like deals you can have. But he's not trying to make deals, because that's not the kind of content he makes. He's a streamer that wants to play video games. and he could ask people to be on his show. He chose not to do it. He had people for the when he did DSP Asks It for DSP Asks, they ended up canceling because of the side scrollers. He had people lined up, and did they back out because he's a joke? He did, because he felt that he was a joke. They were still willing to do it. None of them backed out. But when a person actually backed out of an interview with him, it was because they didn't like his reaction to VTubers playing Street Fighter 6. And they thought that what he said was toxic. But he says, well, that's because the trolls clipped me out of context. But what context would be added? Literally the reason why, like, why that person perceived that DSP did not like VTubers was because this dude just responded negatively to these two VTubers excited about playing a match that was random. They didn't know they were going to be in a match. It was like, what are the odds? It's equivalent to DSP getting matched with Snake Eyes. Like, was it bearable listening to Snake Eyes? Like, oh my god, Snake Eyes! Oh my god! And doing all this other, like, cringe shit. But guess what? People made fun of him for doing that cringe shit where he was basically not even playing. And Snake Eyes was like, okay, this guy must have, like, might have been too busy to play, and he didn't do a match. Again, there are people in fighting games, if you put the controller down, and if you just, like, don't play, and they feel like you're not trying, they will not do a set with you. They will just leave. And then if you ask them, why do you do a set? They're like, I'm not playing a guy. Like, sure, sometimes people will rematch and get a free win, but a lot of times other people are like, I'm not going to play this guy who's just going to put the controller down or whatever. And Snake Eyes probably figured that's what's going on, so he's like, I'm not going to play this guy. Because he was not even trying. But he watches VTubers freak out, and he's like, oh my god, they're hurting my ears. My ears are bleeding. Oh my god. All this stuff. So it has a negative connotation versus if he just said, oh wow, they're like very excited. Oh man, they're, you know, like, he could have worded it a different way, I guess. It was just the way he worded it just came off negatively. It's just how he carries himself is the problem. Again, all of this has nothing to do with trolls. It's him. He's the one. He reached out to Kat to help her with OBS. And Kat said, they're like, oh well, it's the guy who fapped. No, she ended up marrying him. That's what happened. And again, she knew he had trolls. That's why a lot of people were like, well, you know, Kat should have known, right? Kat knew that he had trolls. They're just part of the victim blaming situation that goes around. But guess what? She still married him, regardless. Okay.
Understand?
Like, all this is superfluous to the issue at hand. DSP is complaining how no one is taking him seriously because trolls make fun of him. But that's not the case. The reason why no one listens to, like, Chris Chan is because this person is so far gone. Every chance that someone tried to help Chris Chan, this person did the opposite, or didn't listen, or kept sewing themselves into further nonsense. Like, it's just a roller coaster ride with that person. All this stuff. And that's where DSP is kind of, like, teetering on. It's not worth helping this person because this person doesn't care. The only help he wants is people to give him attention and money. That's the only help he cares about.
So you got your lulls for a decade, but now people have lost their livelihood. And I could have helped them, but you don't care.
Then if that was the case, why did you talk about scammers? Why did you talk about scammers? You know what? I got a question for Philip. Why did he, like, when he was going through the Laveria situation, right? Why did he wait until, like, that situation was dealt with for him to discuss that these were a scammer? Why was he so willing, right? You know, think about this. He was, if it wasn't for the SOK and the trolls that were highlighting that Laveria was a scam, this dude would have signed up for them. He signed a contract despite feeling that these might be shady. And I'm saying, like, if you thought that Laveria, Poltavi, whatever the fuck, was a scam, why did he go so far to then sign a contract that had typos in it? And you say, like, well, it's not legally binding because there's typos in it. how do you, like, but yet, even then, you still signed it? I mean, I'm sorry. If you give me a contract that, and you're shady as fuck and has typos in it, I'm not signing it regardless. I'm just gonna, like, block you. Because because when you sign a contract, it's kind of a scary situation. Especially when it deals with your YouTube channels. And he was willing to sacrifice KO Gaming for that. KO Gaming was a sacrificial lamb for Laveria. That's why he was like doing all this weird shit about it. And it's like, and he waited, and he signed it. And did he thank the trolls? Of course not, because why would he? But this dude has no interest in helping anyone, because scammers that have existed on Twitter for years, and he didn't say a peep, didn't say anything until, in my opinion, the only reason he talked about this fucking scam was because, coincidentally, all these YouTubers channels were getting hacked at the same time. In my opinion, DSP got a DM about a partnership with an LED company. And that's why he made that connection, because this dude is so full of himself that he thinks he's still in the FGC when he kinda isn't anymore, by his own admission. And I don't think anyone in the FGC gives a fuck about this guy to even consider him part of the FGC. They might consider him as part of the problematic FGC, if anything. But anyways, he ropes himself in with these people, and then says, well, see, I got a DM too, but anyone can get a DM from a scammer. Scammers don't give a fuck. They target everyone. Everyone gets emails from scammers. Oh, your FedEx package is shipped. Click the link to track it. And it's like, I didn't order anything. And this is texted me? Like, that's not how this works. Huh? And then you're just gonna be like, block. Like, everyone gets that shit anyway. I mean, it's really just like the only time that you get, and this is all like typical, like, because I feel that these kind of scamming emails, phishing emails, I feel get ramped up more in the holiday season because of all this other like surrounding stuff, ad revenues high, Christmas time, whatever the fuck, all this stuff gets overbloated because of that. And DSP is so dented, he thinks that this is a coincidence. Oh, they're targeting me, come on.
Well, maybe.
And again, I'd much rather listen to some like Rufflemonger when he was discussing it. I would much rather listen to what Rufflemonger had to say than DSP.
Maybe in the scope of things, you're the insignificant person who doesn't matter. Did you ever think about that?
Wait, what?
And I could have helped them, but you don't care. Well,
why would I care about helping other people? Like, there's so many avenues for people to find help, just to find it, and he's sitting there like, oh man, you know what? Like, blah, blah, blah.
Maybe in the scope of things, you're the insignificant person who doesn't matter. Did you ever think about that?
You ever think about that?
Just because you got to laugh for a decade at me?
Oh my god.
Well,
was it
maybe in the scope of things, you're the insignificant person who doesn't matter. Did you ever think about that? Just because you got to laugh for a decade at me?
I'm assuming it's Ann Lee. Ann Lee must have, like, had an alert. Or was it DSP? Or was it the guy?
At my expense, right? You've fucked stuff up. You get it? The person who doesn't matter. Did you ever think about that?
If we're... he told us for years that we're insignificant. And if that's the case, if we are insignificant people, why does he have rants about us all the time? He told us before that we wouldn't matter if we got Thanos snapped away, no one would miss us and no one would care. And yet, we have multiple rants about the trolls on DSP Gaming. And this dude is having another rant about how we ruined his life and how we have made it so that he can't help anyone, apparently, even though he has helped people regardless.
Just because you got to laugh for a decade at me, at my expense, right? You've fucked.
At his expense. But, he could have just, like, rolled with it, right? He tells us that if he rolled with it, it would have been different.
Fucked stuff up. You get it?
Get it?
Like, I could have been someone to help people with this kind of stuff. I would have liked to. I was at one point. But you just had to laugh. Well, now people have lost their livelihood and their YouTube channel. Someone to help people with this kind of stuff. I would have liked to.
This dude is not savvy at all. Like, man, he struggled. When he did the Medica React, he was making fun of Mundane Matt for not having a clean window to show his like YouTube history or whatever the fuck. Like, he had all these tabs open. And like, okay, so this is what you do, right? Okay, okay, you do that, okay, and then he like struggled to open a new window. He struggled to do that, and he's telling us that, that he would help people. When the side scrollers were asking about the mobile game, he couldn't even hold the conversation. He was darting all over the place. Not even with that question, it's in general. Again, his character is the problem here. Not the trolls, not how other people perceive him. It's how he carries himself. Again, if he went to help someone, it's up to that person to take him seriously or not. And that's for them to decide. They're not going to think about what other people think of this guy. They're just going to read what he tweeted at them or what he says, and they'll decide for themselves. When you watch the news segment about the scammer, it's very obvious that this guy is just delusional or deluded. Like, this guy talks about how there's too many departments in YouTube or Google to handle this when it should be consolidated into like one person. But it's like, anyone would tell you that's not the case, and there's a reason why it takes forever. Is that the important thing is that it should have an easier way to get some kind of help for these situations. But it's also unreasonable to expect them to have one person to handle all these things, or even multiple people to handle all these things at once. Like, it's just unfeasible. There's all these issues that are there that are the problem.
I was at one point, but you just had to laugh.
At the end of the day, when your account gets hacked, you're gonna ask the internet for help, but you're gonna be mostly looking for people who have went through it before that can help you. Did DSP go through their YouTube channel getting hacked? No, he never did. The only thing he ran into that was similar in like scariness, I guess, is that he had a Comcast employee that was targeting him. He had a bank leak, and that's it. He never had his YouTube channel shut down. He actually had a YouTube channel shut down. He didn't care about it. He didn't even care enough to get it fixed.
Well, now people have lost their livelihood and their YouTube channels. Is it funny?
Like, how did his YouTube channel, how did it get hacked, right? So you know what, let's think about this, right? I think it was DSP Red Dead, or Red Dead DSP that got hacked. Or no, it was Final Fantasy 13 DSP, that one. Or both, whatever. That one got hacked. And people started uploading sports games, and then that channel got shut down. How did that get hacked, DSP? So what do you know about reversing hacking or whatever the fuck? And when you look back as to how he explains, I don't think he even knows how it got hacked.
Are you laughing? What if it was you? Ha! And it's your fault.
Again, there's so many other people that are out there to help people who got their accounts hacked. There's other people that have spoken about this, all this stuff. Like, there are thousands of YouTube channels and YouTubers who have talked about this subject alone. DSP's not special. He's not the linchpin of this whole thing. If DSP had clout, this would never happen. No, it would still happen. Scammers are not saying this, think, oh, thank God DSP is a joke on the internet. If DSP had power, we would not exist, guys. Thank God.
You're to blame. Any of you out there,
you're to blame. You know what?
You. Yes, you.
Who just thought, let's make Phil the butt of the joke, just to get a rise today and do the...
Again, how self-important is DSP? Right? So if he wasn't the butt of the joke, would all scammers be bodied? Would they all be gone? No. They'd still exist because guess what? He wouldn't care. I guarantee you, he wouldn't have talked about this in any meaningful way regardless. He only talked about it because you know what? Think about it this way. The only reason he even talked about this fucking scam, these scammers, is that the FGC, a group of people, were getting hacked, and this was a trending topic on Twitter. That is the only reason he talked about this. That's the only reason. And yet this guy is saying like, oh, I would have helped 1,000 people. No, he only talked about this kind of stuff because it was trending. This is bullshit.
This meme on the internet, it's your fault. Directly.
It's your fault.
Not even indirectly, it's directly your fault. Because you...
I would have given him a little bit of credit if he said it indirectly, but he wants to say directly. Let's hear this again.
Let's make Phil the butt of the joke. Just to get a rise today and do this meme on the internet. It's your fault. Directly.
It's your fault.
Not even indirectly, it's directly your fault. Because you thought it was okay to try to destroy someone and their public, you know, their
public of their
reputation.
You did it to yourself, dude. No one will take you seriously because of the shit you say. You're the problem here.
You. Yes, you.
This dude is insane to say that his reputation was besmirched by trolls. Did trolls make you fap on the internet? No. The trolls did not make that happen. You did that. You. Yes, you. He did it. Not me. I didn't do that. He did.
Public opinion about them. You just thought it was funny. There was no other reason to do it. You just thought it was funny. But you didn't think big. Instead...
But why do people think it's funny? Why do they think you're funny? Because of you. Again, this is a prime example of that. Listen to how he's talking about himself as if he's some grandiose figure. Like, oh, he's the reason. Like, if he had power, the scammers would be bodied. Like, that kind of attitude is why people think you're a joke, my guy. Not because, oh, he played games in dumb ways. Because if he had good takes, then he would have good takes. But what are his good takes? Game journals are paid off. Okay, I mean, a lot of people have made that claim, and it's been true before. You know, all of this stuff. That's not new. Crunching devs is bad. Wow, you're telling me that it's a little fucked up to crunch people to the point where work takes a huge chunk of their life? Yeah, that okay. I mean, that's a take that people can have, and everyone has that basically. You know, whatever. That anyone could say that. And murder is wrong, basically. You know, whatever. I mean, these are not big brain takes. He acts as if he has such huge takes that would change the world. But everyone has the same takes. You can find the same takes he has with anyone else. Like, this dude, and he's saying, like, oh, you're making fun of me directly. And you're affecting people's livelihoods. Because we make fun of DSP.
You thought in your own little brainless mouth drooler bubble that the memes of the internet and laughing at them is more important than big picture shit.
Then why do you laugh at the memes as well? Again, he brings up his own memes. He brings up memes himself. He made fun of the Wings chili meme every time. Isn't that being negative? Aren't you participating in toxic internet culture? We need the drama content, right? See, if this is such a big deal to him, then why did he participate with Kino Casino doing drama content? Why did he propagate Ethan Ralph content? Why did he propagate COD content? If this is such a bad thing that ruins the internet and society as a whole, why was it okay for him to participate in it? Oh, he was dipping his toes in it. But if you're such a principled person that we need to listen to you and take you seriously, then why did you go back at it to dip your toes in content that you say is toxic and bad? So, off the bat, I can't take you seriously. Again, he said before, he had Kima on his little podcast, that Lockout Live is a dangerous show. It's going to lead to people dying. Aka, the Anna Nicole Smith show. where Anna Nicole, she's dead now. Right? Remember that rant? Yeah. And then he has Keem on his show and says, I wish you the best on Lolcow Live, the show that he made that connection with. So you're telling me over you're saying that Keemstar has blood money, he sleeps on with blood on his hands and this and that. Made Keem to be this huge villain that's very toxic and negative and awful, right? And then to say, well, I'm cool with him. So even off the bat, your own fucking reason why you dislike Keem is invalidated. Your own reputation is demolished by your own actions. All they can really say is that the trolls propagate the lolcow nature of DSP and made people less inclined to take DSP at his word. And meanwhile, people have done that regardless. So many people check him out anyway. And then when you look at people who find him as a joke, they only find him funny as a gamer, not as a person. And yet he combines all this stuff together. But you can be bad at games and still be a smart person. A doctor can suck at video games. Does that mean that they're not a good doctor? No. What kind of logic is that? Yeah, this guy is saying that since we made fun of him and how he plays games, we besmirch his public reputation. What kind of public reputation do you have to have where your gamer skills is equivalent to your real life reputation or the kind of rationale you have? The reason why people have made fun of him and called out his integrity or his character is off of his own actions. Like, you watch any video from anyone on the internet about DSP, anyone, and you'll learn very quickly that the issue isn't the trolls. It's not how that he plays games wrong. It's how he behaves and how he acts to people. That's why people feel many different ways about him. And he doesn't get it. Get it?
So all during this time frame when the YouTube adpocalypse was happening, and I had concrete data to show what was going on, everyone ignored me. During the time frame,
let's listen to this part.
All during this time frame when the YouTube adpocalypse was happening.
Guess what? By the time DSP talked about the adpocalypse, was when he was kicked out of Machinima and all this stuff. And by the time that he was talking about it, everyone already knew it existed. And when he talked about it in any meaningful way before it affected him was on DS3X, and he was only talking, let's go on a field trip. Ladies and gentlemen, DSP reacts. Let's see. We may have to scroll. Oh my god, this fucking thumbnail. We may have to scroll a while, guys. Phil reacts. Here we go. Let's see. Monetization being removed. Let's see. Fees for Slim, verified, delayed, Warner Brothers. Let's see. End of Wii U. End of Wii U. Man, I gotta read that. Watch that video. No advanced reviews. Let's see. Because I think it was the one I saw up there about ads being removed, but I want to make sure it's not that there's nothing else. Oculus Rift. Okay. Alright. Okay, here we go. It was this one. Which was done September 5th, 2016. But by this time, this was kind of when people started to realize there's something going funny with the ads, I think. If I remember the thing correctly, it was either earlier in 2016, during 2016, or the end of 2016, I guess. But I think it was just around this time, people were talking about ads being removed already.
What's going on, everyone? Dark seems to be affecting quite a lot of YouTubers.
So see, this is a thing that affected other YouTubers, which would mean naturally they would talk about it. So it's already in the talking sphere. Oh man, hold on. I'm going to I don't know. I don't know what YouTube will give me if I do this. So I'm just gonna hide that. I'm gonna just Google this. When did the YouTube ad happen? So across an 18-month period covering starting in 2016, YouTube was subjected to major advertising boycotts. Today, it is most often referred to as adpocalypse. Okay. So it was pretty much 2017 because I think 2016 they introduced, like you may get demonetized for certain things, and that's kind of what he was talking about. Okay. So that's what he's talking about in this. Hold on, I want to make sure you. Okay, good. You still see YouTube. But yeah, that's what he's talking about in this. So I was kind of wrong. It was it was still in 2017, but everyone was already talking about it. That's the point I'm making. It wasn't like no one was in denial, and DSP was the only person that knew, and we didn't listen. We didn't listen to Phil, guys.
And I had concrete data to show what was going on. Everyone ignored me. During the time frame when YouTube was cracking down on copyright issues on YouTube, adpocalypse was happening, and I had concrete data.
The data that he was showing, people were not really like swayed, and it was about his videos that people were not believing him. Because get this, DSP just has a knack for saying nonsense and begging. Like again, this dude, like I'm gonna keep bringing this up. He was telling in 2016, guys, I may not make it, guys. I may not make it next year. It's gonna be bad, man. Whatever. The end of January, he had a weekend preview, and he said, guys, I was worried, but I guess I was worried for nothing. I still was able to make money. I was fine, guys. And it's like he made so much money off of that, of the fear of not making a lot of money. And then he tells us in the end of January, I overreacted. And but he shows all this stuff like, guys, look, my ads are down, my views are down, and this and that. No one was refuting that. They were just saying, okay, then get a job. Oh, okay, like find some other way. Like, not a lot of people were disproving that. They were just saying that like, it can't be that bad because he's not getting a job. Basically, like he's always been able to pull through and all this other stuff, and he has all this stuff like, and it continues even to this day. If you think about it, again, he was able to live off of $50 streams per stream to make $50, but now he's telling us that he doesn't want to go back and all this other stuff. Meanwhile, he told us that was successful at the time. So what's to believe, right? He made less before and was able to continue living in the pig pen, but now he says I need to make more. I can't live off of $50, even though he did for months. Like it just doesn't make sense when you think about it. But back then, when he was talking about the adpocalypse and all this stuff, it was surrounded by stuff that no one was denying. People knew the apocalypse was happening. People were mostly mad that he was begging all the time, and it's just like, okay, then make good content, basically. But again, he soured the well when he literally was like, doing all this stuff, but he could have just found other ways, because he made similar begging videos and begging vlogs and panic vlogs before. But the other thing he could have just done was figure out ways to make more money anyway. By the time that he was not satisfied with Machinima's help, he was kicked out of Machinima, and then he decided, okay, I'll become a live streamer, which a lot of people did at the time. See, this is the key difference between what people were criticizing of DSP and other content creators. Other people saw a dip in their income, and they found other ways to become profitable. Like, they try to make other things profitable and work for them. Again, I bring up Mega64 because a few weeks ago, and sometime in November or so, they brought up that they weren't making a lot of money off of their videos anymore. They were not getting a lot of views as they used to. They couldn't make the same amount of money because of all the situation they had with chargebacks, all this stuff. And through that, they found other ways to go, okay, I guess we could, like, either add more tiers to our Patreon, change the way that add end credits to the podcast, open a new like donation page like Ko-fi, Coffee, whatever. They did all this stuff, and all this stuff was like them that they figured out through the help of their fans, sure, but a lot of the stuff was stuff that like they figured out, and look at them now. They're not saying that like, guys, we need to be, but in the same breath though, Mega 64 has more of an investment stuff too, because they have a warehouse that they work from. They make videos, so they have to get materials for that. They have to pay other people to work for their videos. All this other stuff, so they have more of a venue than what DSP has, right? DSP's not paying other people to make his content. He's not paying. He's not investing in all that stuff. A lot of the money he makes is off of his own content that he could put into his own business that is made to like make money. He has no crazy investments to make. The most crazy investments he's gonna make in the future would probably be upgrading his PCs and getting consoles. That is it. Meanwhile, Mega 64 has to pay like per video, depending on what they're making, whatever, and same with merchandise. All this other stuff that costs money. DSP doesn't even make his own merchandise, so he has less of an investment capital in his own business because all he does is stream games.
To show what was going on. Everyone ignored me. During the time frame when YouTube was cracking down on copyright issues on YouTube, and everyone was having their videos content ID match, and I had all the data because I had tens of thousands of videos.
But this is stuff everyone already knew at the time. Even at the time, this wasn't a new revelation. DSP did not educate us on these things. These things were already educated. We already knew how copyright claims worked back then. We knew how copyright strikes worked back then. We knew all this stuff back then. All this stuff is information that was out there already. And he's saying it as if like he was the arbiter of this information.
And I could help people. People ignored me. All these times when things could have been helped out or better.
But when this was going on with his copyright ID, when he was getting all these copyright claims, guess what? It was just, oh, I got an email from YouTube saying I can't make money on this video anymore. Wow, I got another video. And it's like, okay, yeah, things get claimed. Wow. And then like when he talked about like the I think it was Apex Legends. Was it Apex or some Call of Duty thing where the composer said, "Oh, I did not mean for people's videos to be claimed," and all this other stuff. Other people were already bringing that up on Twitter anyway. DZ was not the first person to bring that up. All this stuff isn't because of him. This is really brain dead to sit there and say, I knew all this and no one listened. Dude, people knew this already.
But, let's have a laugh today at DSP because, he had an incident in 2016. And
but 2016, that incident was you yourself doing that. And of course, people are going to bring it up because you did that. Hello?
He plays WWE champions, right?
But the reason why people bring up champions wasn't because, oh, wow, he played it. I mean, you could think it's really silly you played a mobile game. I mean, he thinks it was funny people play mobile games too, actually. Go back and listen to him discuss any other mobile game. He makes fun of people who play mobile games just as much as the next guy. And this dude is like, oh, wow, people bill me. But it was because this dude was like, guys, I'm going through a bankruptcy. I need money. I need money to pay my bills. I also played WWE Champions, and that was my account that spent a lot of money in the game. Like, and he doesn't understand how that makes him, like, look. And it's also not really a good look when you consider that he lied about playing WWE Champions throughout the time, as he's saying that we should have taken him seriously. So we should have taken him seriously during the time where you lied about playing WWE Champions. Meanwhile, if anyone else was caught lying, right, would DSP say, we should listen to this guy because he might have had a reason to lie, right? No.
All right? So, in truth,
I'm a liar.
Sorry for me, I'm about to drop a little holiday truth bomb on everyone.
All right? Guys, get ready. Wait. Well, I guess I could. Okay, I'm gonna get ready. I'm gonna get ready.
Are you ready for this one?
Are you ready for this? I'm not ready.
If I never existed, if I had never made a YouTube video, if I had never had any prominence on the internet, if I had never bothered turning on a camera, pointing it at a TV, and doing really stupid commentary, if I had never made tens of thousands of videos, all right? Here's the truth. Tons of people never would have been YouTubers. Tons of content never would have been made. People wouldn't have been inspired to do what they did. And the world would be a very different place.
I'm shook.
I'm so shook. I agree, Jacko. I'm shook. I'm shook.
I'm shook.
And then, Alright. This dude is so silly. This dude is so silly. Because you don't know that. Anyone could have found anyone else to be inspired by to make content. Technically, I was inspired by Mega64 to make videos. I made videos before I made DSP videos. Anyway. And I was inspired by other things anyway. He's gonna bring like he's vaguely bring up PewDiePie, and because supposedly, allegedly, PewDiePie was inspired by DSP to make videos. Who is to say that PewDiePie would not be inspired by anyone else? Like, again, it's not a big big picture idea to make a YouTube channel of playing video games. Like, even by that time he was doing it, people are probably already thinking about it in their head. I mean, there was already walkthroughs at that time, and capture cards were probably already being made available to people at that time as well. I mean, they might have been expensive at the time, but, you know, like, it was getting around. So it had nothing to do with DSP. The nature of YouTube still existed. So this is a nothing statement, and it's kind of arrogant to assume that you yourself has that kind of clout. I mean, usually people just say, that they get moved by people being inspired by them and this and that, but they're not going to say in the same breath, wow, we inspired. Unironically, I want to make that very clear. No one unironically says this shit, and if they do say it, you know they're probably joking, and they're probably being facetious about it. Like, Mega64 joked about how they were the first to sleep on stream because they got banned for that, but now it's like a Twitch category, and you can watch people sleep on stream or whatever the fuck. And it's like, they jokingly would say stuff like that, and it's very clear that they're being facetious about it, because, like, who fucking cares at the end of the day about that category anyway, right? Like, all this stuff, like, it's just stuff that, like, no one cares that much about, because to some law of probability, someone else would have done it anyway. So is this really a bragging thing? This is like a low bar thing to mention, when it's more like and it's more like awe-inspired if it's something that's like a technique. Like, oh, I did this one thing in a movie that was so unique and cool. Other people were inspired to do that, and that changed film from then on. And that changed how people made movies and this, that. Like, that's more of a thing that people talk about than, like, oh, I decided to make a video about me playing a game, man. Like, it's just, that's gonna happen eventually. That's not big brain thinking. Or creative.
Okay? If I never existed, a lot of positive things never would have happened on this planet, whether directly or indirectly as a result of my actions. My existence has actually...
So, directly or indirectly. Well, okay, let's think about the positive stuff that would come out directly from DSP. I'm omitting detractor channels because we're not positive, obviously. He helped Cat, even though after he helped Cat, she didn't stream ever again. So for some reason, I don't know why that. I don't know what happened there, but he helped, and then she just couldn't stream anymore. I can't think of anything else. I don't know. Oh, he helped people not, like, post geotagged photos. But, I mean, I mean, that's anyone would say that. So I mean, I don't know if I would really give him the point on that one. Like, I'm trying to think of something he did himself that no one else was doing, because I'm omitting the Pippa and Sopa thing because everyone else was talking about it, so I'm not gonna, like, give him credit for that. So I'm ignoring that. I can't think of anything else, so I don't know. I give up.
Prominently impacted the internet and life, quite frankly. All right?
Life? Wait, what?
As a result of my actions, my existence has actually prominently impacted the internet and life, quite frankly. All right? And I'm happy.
What did he do in life for us? Because he didn't talk about politics for years. He doesn't care about Syria. He told us that himself. He doesn't give a fuck about Syria. So he's not, he doesn't care about the other side of the planet. Okay. The only thing I could think of is that he complains about healthcare a lot. He just complains. Imagine if like in Luigi's manifesto it says, I was watching Hate Live in 2016 or 2015, whatever year he was talking about, because he talked about the healthcare system before, where he was saying that he was mad that illegal immigrants was getting healthcare and they didn't have to pay and all this other shit, and then like, we pay such high premiums or whatever the fuck, blah blah blah. And then Luigi was like, I watched DSP's content and I was like, oh, this is fucked up. And then I found Brian. Then you know what happened after that. So I mean, maybe that's the case. DSP did talk about healthcare a lot and he complained about it. But at the same breath, he did say that the only good thing about Obamacare was with Leanna, where she's covered through her parents' health insurance, which, you know what? It's even funnier. It's really the Leonardo DiCaprio meme, right? Because everyone dogged on him for being with a girlfriend up until she's too old to be on their parents' healthcare. So that's when he dumps them, and that's what DSP kind of did if you think about it, because she was still covered by her parents' healthcare. So, and then she left the pig pen. But then Kat came along and she was 30 or something.
I'm proud of that fact, that at least my existence on the internet has had a positive impact on so many.
Who?
All those people who made
the only impact you could say is like the individual. Like if someone's going through a bad day, they'll watch him. But guess what? You're on the internet. This person could have found someone else that would be there for them. Like, you're a dime a dozen. Like, it's cool, sure, that people will watch your videos and they can find something and they can get something out of them. I mean, but that's general. Anyone could feel that way. Like, I've said this even about my own videos. When I see a video that's not even DSP related, that gets like 20 views, like, yeah, that's not a lot, but that's still pretty cool. Like, 20 people watched and they're like, oh wow, this guy thinks this about this or that. Like, it's still kind of cool. Like, even in my old channel, I have a video about House season 5, and I reviewed it, and I got like 500 views. That's insane. That's the highest. I feel that's the highest viewed video on that channel. Every other video is like fucking trash anyway. But these are but they still got like 10 views, 20 views, which is still pretty cool. I mean, it's like, yeah, 20 people gave a fuck about me talking about Persona 3. That's pretty cool. Like, that's really all it is. And then this dude is like, I impacted everyone's life. Like, get over yourself.
negative memes about me for the last decade to get a joke, to get a laugh, positive impact on so many. All those people who made negative memes about me for the last decade to get a joke, to get a laugh, literally, if those people never existed, they'd have zero impact on anything.
You could say that about you as well. What impact does your videos have? Again, the novelty of his videos wear off very fast. And it's just like literally in DSP's words, a quick pop. Because it's just, even when he started, it was like 10 minute videos. Like a quick pop video that was just spam uploaded. That's meaningful content? And then when people look back at it, guess what they look back at the most? Videos of John Rambo. And every time that people try to think of the good times they had with DSP by himself, it's him fucking up in games. And guess what? This is how you don't play offers. A quick montage of all those moments that people like, right? Come on.
0. The whole mentality of this groupthink nonsense is just that.
But then if he says this is also not true if you think about it, right? Kino Casino only gave him attention because he was such a lolcow that they wanted to milk him. And they wanted to, like, inflate his ego because they know that this dude has an ego problem. So they inflate him, he's gonna be fucking crazy. And look where we're at. So if it wasn't for the trolls, he would never have been in the sphere of Kino Casino. That never happened. So this little clout he's bragging that he got back was also caused by the trolls, which were also caused by him. So it's all meaningless at the end of the day. Who fucking cares, man?
It's nonsense. Oh, jokes on for joke's sake, and it's all just jokes. Yeah, but at what expense? What did you do? You fucked with the fabric of how things worked because you wanted to have a memeable.
What did we do that fucked with the fabric of how things worked? Like, people were copyright trolling people for years. Like, the copyright strike thing was affecting, like, a lot of other people. People lost channels that they shouldn't have lost because of that. Whatever the fuck. Like, this stuff has happened to many people. And it would have happened probably without him.
Existence for 10 fucking years. You know? You guys you're out of your minds. But again, it's you look in the mirror and you don't want to acknowledge that. You sat on the internet for 10 years turning DSP into a joke. But what have you done with yourself?
But he did that to himself, though. People react to the shit he says. And that's what they're talking about. Like, again, I have only made videos because there's something he says that's so dumb that I just want to talk about it because it is so dumb. That's why, like, some of the gaming news stuff that he covers, I specifically make a video about it because he says such dumb things about video games. Or that there's something that he's ignorant about that I want to highlight. Because the stuff he says is dumb. Like, it should say something that when he did the Daniel Penny story, I still have people who may not agree with me politically still understand my point and say, yeah, you know, it was fucked up what he said about his dad, basically. And that is, like, that says something about his own takes. Because he is so dumb with the shit he says that you just have to talk about it. Like, I think to a degree, the stuff I say, I mean, again, people don't agree with the shit I say, and I'm fine with that. I'm still gonna stand up for what I say, and I still think what I'm gonna think at the end of the day. The best I can ask of people who watch my videos is to at least understand at least where I'm coming from or why I think the things I think about or whatever. And I do see, at least from the comments I've read, that people at least understand where I'm coming from or understand that, like, look, I may not agree with you, but, like, you know, it is what it is. And that's fine. I'm not going to sit there and tell you how to think and what's the right way to think and what's the wrong way to think. I can only tell you how I think and my perspective on some things. But the way DSP carries himself, and this is a problem that I've said about his political channel, he has the attitude that what he says is gospel truth, and we should all listen to him because he's the rational voice. No one who is rational goes around saying that they're the rational voice, or carries themselves that way. They can feel that what they think is correct and all this other stuff, but that's what everyone feels. Everyone who goes around, they think what they think is the correct way of thinking how things should be done, and that's just how it is. That's how disagreements are formed. That's how people have conversations with people. And that's why, like, as much as they like to say that the Congress cannot see eye, they're like children and they stomp their feet. But, like, they go through discussions and they try to argue their own point of view. I mean, a lot of stuff is whatever. You can argue about a lot of things, how the government's run. But it comes off of the basis of, like, my constituents don't agree with this. their constituents agree with that, and we gotta find something, we gotta compromise, and through compromise, that's you get that by arguing and trying to rewrite the bill and this and that. I mean, there's a lot of discussion to be had about a lot of things. About a lot of things. But this dude is not interested in that because he thinks he's right all the time. And you're not going to go get anywhere with him with that kind of mentality that he has. Because he's a stubborn piece of shit.
Right? These people who are
Right?
full-time DSP detractors, who would they be without me? In a day when I decide not to turn on my camera or not.
Again, when I upload my own content, it's just, in my opinion, it's a humbling. Because I get to see either, like, how far would I be able to, like, get attention for my own content. It may not be a lot, and, you know, that has to be explained. Because, of course, I understand, obviously, if I upload DSP content, it's going to get a bigger audience because people tune in to drama content or people like who want to dog on other people or whatever. I mean, that's why a lot of things are the way they are. Again, DSP isn't the first person to like come to this conclusion or anything. Your opponent says your videos of how to handle the content ID issues were the first videos I watched of you, and 10 years later, here I am. Okay, does Ponish 101 even upload videos? Let's go to his little channel. Ponage. Well, let's see. Okay. I'm assuming this is a channel. I don't think it is. But it is 11 years. But these are all his videos. 11 years ago. And this is assuming this is him, by the way. Like, let's filter this and filter to channels. Pure Ponage. Okay, I'm assuming this is the real Ponage 101, and his videos are just this. DMO reading. Okay. Oh, it is. I scroll down. This I guess confirms it because it literally says dent. It is DSP's wife's BF. How did you take the video I've been working? How did you take the video? I have been wondering how people do that. I remember the guild. Oh man. Laggy as fuck. But look at this. And he's like, "Wow, DSP, you're amazing." And this is the video he uploads 11 years ago. Is he gonna talk? Oh man, that's not a pleasant noise. Are you a functional Derek? I have to ask. Imagine supporting DSP for 5 years and still going in 2022. Make sure your anxiety text. Oh my god. Oof. Dude, this is a menu segment! He uploaded a video that's a menu segment! Oh my god, dude, I see why he loves DSP. He probably saw DSP's menu segments and said, this gameplay is lit. Man, and this dude is like, and you need to watch DSP to understand how to use Content ID. Dude, when you go to the dashboard, it literally explains to you how to handle Content ID.
Not to broadcast, they have nothing to do in life. They actually depend on me for them to have.
But what about these other detractors, right, that moved on from him? Like, again, Elite sometimes does DSP kind of like this. He may react to it sometimes here and there, but for the most part, he just streams games. He mostly streamed SMT5 when I would drop into his streams. like etc. Like they do other stuff. Like, come on now, dog.
have some kind of a
Come on,
meaningful
man.
existence. Get it?
Get it?
So, as much of a joke that you wanted to make me out to be for 10 years, but you wanted to think about what might have happened in the last 10 years if I was actually able to add.
Guess what? Nothing! You wanna know why? I have seen so many YouTubers that are not DSP talk about the copyright system. Dude, even then, even during the pivotal arc of DSP's life, he never talked about it in any meaningful way until it affected him. Other people have talked about the YouTube ad revenue and copyright system way before, and he never signal boosted it. He never signal boosted their tweets. He never signal boosted what they were saying or anything. He didn't care until it affected him. He's full of himself in this video.
Interesting topics. Actually be respected for my opinions. Gamergate.
What is to be respected? What opinion can I respect from this guy? Dude, come on. Be real. Get real. Yeah, that's right.
All these journalistic controversies that have happened, and I've
And
been very...
Gamergate. This is insane he brings this up. You go back to the videos where he talks about Gamergate and he doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. He talks about one angle of it, one like portion of it. There's other things, other ramifications of Gamergate that seeped all over the place that, you know, whatever. Gamergate have a lot of impact. But he only talks about the journalist side of it. But he doesn't understand, he didn't listen to the other side of it. I mean, did he listen to like the other aspect of Gamergate? Did you look at other perspectives of Gamergate, or just listen to the people that say Gamergate's bad or Gamergate is against journalists' early copies? Because that's all he talks about it. He doesn't understand the other ramifications that it had with other people. And then he says in the Medicare documentary, I didn't know much about it. I would read stuff and I don't know what it was about, even to this day, man. But then you go back, he complained about how the news was focusing on women getting death threats during Gamergate. But he does ask, like, why were these women getting death threats? Was it right for them to get death threats? But he was mad that they weren't also talking about how the gaming journalists are not ethical or whatever the fuck, and this and that. As if that would excuse the death threats. I mean, that's what it insinuates. You watch that clip, and it's just like, so you're mad that the news about women getting death threats is not mentioning that people are criticizing how they review or handle early copies or whatever the fuck. I mean, in the grand scope of things, what is more important to talk about? People getting death threats over something that you don't need to give death threats over, or people having, or that, I mean, you could argue that, like, you know, you should hold journalists to a higher standard, or that they shouldn't be bought off or whatever. That is an opinion, but the story that he was complaining about was a story that was focusing on people getting death threats. And that, of course, is gonna get the focus because people are getting death threats, my guy. And then he says, I don't know what Gamergate was about. And now he's saying, well, I had good takes, like Gamergate. The thing you don't know anything about? Huh? Okay.
Vocal about. I don't like how journalism has handled gaming in the last 10 years, but no one listens to me. Right?
But what does he say that no one else has said before? He's saying, like, I have said stuff about, I don't know how the gaming industry has handled stuff and no one listens to me. DSP, you're not the first person on the planet to say early copy bad. Everyone has said this before. I mean, dude, I watched old Cesar soapbox videos of even Cesar talking about it. That's how old it is. Everyone's been talking about this. And to a degree, like, the most I've like looked at this is, yeah, I think, you know, when companies pay off people to get a favorable review, that is wrong. But I also think it's in the same way, it's a dual-edged sword, because you're also blaming other journalists that may not even do that. And it goes in the line of like, you just have to be careful of who you're reading the reviews from. Yeah, it's bad that this happens, but what can you, the viewer, do? Just read reviews that you trust. That is the best anyone can do, or read user reviews. I mean, it's a big topic, but game journalism, in my opinion, is not the end-all be-all on bad reviews. Because if you look at like even user reviews, a lot of time can also be not accurate or fair. There are review bumps, and review bumps can be in good faith. They could be like, oh, this game is not functional, we got review bumps, so they pay attention to that. But that also bears in line with people who review bump over dumb things that don't deserve the review bump. It's all like situational. And it's a bigger topic that you can't just say a definitive stance on something, because it's all person to person. And people, in my opinion, over the years, I think people have kind of gotten to the point where they'll call out journalists that they don't agree with, whatever, and they'll either stick with people who they agree with, or whatever. I mean, it's all situational, and the best that people can do is just go on their own, like, enjoyment of what they find. I mean, it's a loaded topic, and to sit there and act as if he is the arbiter, that he has huge takes that no one listens to, is insane. It is insane. And then when he gets news stories about like, these influencers are highlighting parts in the contract that say that they must say favorable things about the game and this and that, and he acts as if like no one knew this was a possibility, and he has only said this for years, as if the public now discovered this possibility. The reason why it's news when it happens is because it's not that it never happened before and or this or that, is that it just happened and people want to bring it up because they want to spread awareness of this. No one is saying that this never happens. When you see people bring up that, oh, this company is paying people, no one is saying this never happened before. What? It's just, wow, this company did this, and people are like, wow, that's fucked up, and whatever. And that's it, because it's just stating observation, but he acts as if this is a observation of something that never happened before. Because he wants to use that as a way to butter himself up and say, see, I knew this would happen. See, I'm smart, I'm big brain. Like, my guy, anyone can say this. The reason why it's trending on Twitter is because people are discussing it, that it's either done blatantly, or it's just that they're bringing it up.
Right? All these things that have come to fruition that I predicted would happen, and they have. Gaming now is all so fucking milquetoast and done just for the money, because
gaming is milquetoast and done for the money. You could say that about anything ever that is made so that money is being made. People say that about movies. People say that about Marvel movies. Like, people accuse, like, people say that, like, this Marvel slop. Oh, they are making these movies just for money. But you can also see a Marvel movie, and then you can see that maybe there's a vision made for this movie that they want to tell. Whatever. There's all these other, like, windows of some kind of vision sometimes. Like, it's not unique. It's not unique. But of course there's gonna be people who make gaming channels just to make money. Just like how DSP opened a vlogging channel to just make money. Literally, he has told us that in the past, when he couldn't make money uploading gameplay, he made videos vlogging to make money to support the gaming through that way. So he directly said he made a vlogging channel to make money. But that's not seen in the same ire as I just seen making a gameplay channel. Why is she not allowed to make a gameplay channel, DSP? Why can't she? Why can't Toby Turner make a gameplay channel? Because they're not a gamer. Why are we doing, like, because this is the other aspect of Gamergate that he doesn't really seem to acknowledge, or he just doesn't understand the ramifications of what it actually means, or what it can be used as, I should say. Because when you start saying, well, this person's not a gamer, why is he playing games? It's ridiculous. the company does not make games just for the gamer. They make it for everyone to play. And people can say they don't like that and they want to gatekeep some games so it doesn't dumb down the game. But at the same time, you could argue that that people who gatekeep are doing it in vain because guess what? The company don't give a fuck about the gatekeepers. They're still gonna make the game they're gonna make. They're not gonna change what they're doing because at the end of the day they want to make money anyway. Like it's a whole thing, and people can argue that it's not fair to gatekeep people from enjoying a game because at the end of the day this game is made for people to play. Like, why not let people play this X game so that they can experience it or whatever? Why are we gatekeeping this? At the end of the day, isn't it pointless? And you can say that there are people like DSP that exist solely for gatekeeping to exist, but it's also used in bad faith in the sense that it will target other people that may have a better take. Like, let's say that like you have DSP and DSP2. I'll just say DSP2. But DSP2 is like, he is more open-minded. He'll play anything and he'll vibe with whatever. But we're gonna gatekeep DSP. And in turn, they gatekeep DSP2 away from games. But DSP2 is actually a gamer and a cool guy. So, right there, you see the problem with gatekeeping. Because on one hand, it's like, yeah, get this guy gated away from games. Fuck this guy. Gatekeep that game from him. But you're also targeting DSP2, who will not get to experience the game and actually have fun. Like, that's the problem. And also, like, it is such a loaded topic. I could rant about this till the cows come home. But this is the dumb nonsense DSP says that makes me want to make videos. Like, listen to this.
No one listens to me, right? All these things that have come to fruition that I predicted would happen and they have. Gaming now is all so fucking milquetoast and done just for the money.
This is criticisms people thrown at him, by the way. Just in a different language. Just with different words. Because his content is literally milquetoast. What is so unique about him playing video games? Let's go to DSP Gaming and let's actually look at the quality content DSP has in gaming because he is such a quality individual.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to an impromptu schedule update. Indeed. And so during that, we'll cover all the early support for mouse and keyboard. Thank you.
Wow, it's just him talking about stuff.
Earlier today on we have one gifted sub
schedules.
over there for the entire first Marvel Rivals. Let's get some support going over there. Come on.
Let's get some support going. He's not doing this just for the money, guys. This is the meaningful content.
No, I would never actually tip myself. Andy says he just hit Master Prestige. I have
Oh, Andy was there, so this is the only meaningful aspect
Prestiged only once.
He talks to Andy a
pasta
lot. And he tries to work
in the
Andy
oven because
to
we
give
were
him
hoping that we were going to be doing
more money.
These how the stream went. Oh, wait a minute. No. Word selections again.
Yeah, this isn't milquetoast or anything, right? By the way, I like that he has his little border here for no reason. Like, why is this here? It just looks really bad. But whatever.
Says, am I gonna wait?
He has to be this size, by the way. He can't shrink himself.
Until I'm done with
only for fighting
Indiana
games.
Jones and Stalker before the year-end series? No, there's no way. Like, how long would I wait? The middle to late January? I can't.
Okay. This is meaningful content.
That is right. I mean, not that I think.
See, other people's content is milquetoast, but this is fun. Let's go to poorly played. Since I talk about Mega 64 all the time, let's load up a poorly played clip. This is 1 year ago. Yeah, let's do this. Leon's remake. Why not?
Not even really an NCR fan. I was too young during like their
Oh, they have
real
Discord
big
calls.
time. So like, had I been a little bit older, I probably would have been way into it. But
Sure. But I've seen
yeah,
I've seen you take a photo in a la the lead singer. You you guys had a very similar.
So he's talking to the caller about, whatever. I don't know the context of this. But this is like a little bit more
about
interesting.
Tacos is that a lot of times you have
Right
to,
off
like,
the
eat
bat.
that, you know, that super fried.
So there's more stuff to kind of chew on this versus what DSP uploads every day. But what everyone else does, that's milquetoast. Unlike Phil, who uploads such quality content of him just talking about the schedule and what he did for
Goody.
dinner,
What the fucking shit was
and
that?
saying what the fuck. Because he can't talk or do anything meaningful and play a game because he has to be
Wait a
good.
minute, if morphine was injected, why did I not just get up? That made no sense. You're supposed to get up. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't get my auto revive. The game cheated me out of it.
They cheated me.
That's not what I...
Yeah, that's all he does. And that's not to say that I'm any better, because, you know, maybe I'm not as good as a gamer, man.
Funny because people just take bags and run and get paid sponsorships and shit like that. How the biggest YouTuber is Mr. Beast, the fakest motherfucker.
Dude, like, so what if they take sponsorships? This guy wanted sponsorships, by the way. He got mad that he got kicked out of the bounty program because of trolls, by the way. He keeps harping on that. He was against sponsorships, yet he was in talks to get sponsorships before. Like with laser mods and all this other stuff, right? Okay.
On the planet who just exploits children left and right.
And then he brings up Mr. Beast. The easiest target. Anyone who's anyone has said, well, Mr. Beast sucks. He's a piece of shit. And DSP's acting as if this is some, like, big revelation only he came up with. My guy, everyone has shed on Mr. Beast before you did, actually, factually.
These are things I called out a decade ago. Get it? I did. I predicted all this would fucking happen, but everyone just wanted to laugh at DSP for a decade.
Again, he thinks this is like a little boy who cried wolf situation where people just didn't listen to him. But that wasn't the case. Everyone knows about, like, the dangers of sponsorships, but is it really worth anyone's energy to just knee-jerk react at people and yell at them for taking sponsorships? So what should they do? Just sit there and beg their audience to hit a goal so they don't have to eat their dumb wife's cooking? Like this dude, and you know, yesterday, Sunday, this is Monday as I'm recording this, he was sitting there like, let's hit the goal, guys, so I can eat Taco Bell. Guys, we gotta do it within an hour, because if you don't do it within an hour, I gotta tell Kat to start cooking dinner. You know, I mean, it was factually worse with Popeyes. He was being, and he doesn't understand the, how it sounds, that he was like, oh, looks like I'm not gonna have Popeyes. I was really craving it, but I guess I'll be eating a meatloaf or whatever the fuck she was cooking. I gotta tell her to make this. I guess this is what I've come to. I gotta eat this. I mean, if you hit the goal, I'll be able to eat Popeyes. I mean, guys, Popeyes. Let's do it, Popeye Day. And it was just like, wow, man, do you hate your wife's cooking? And this dude used to brag about her cooking. And was getting excited. He was like, that's why everyone kept asking, what's your wife cooking? And now it's just, oh, she warmed up this. Oh, it's this bake. Oh, it's that. Wow, it sounds very exciting.
Good for you. I hope you like the present. I hope you're enjoying the existence of, you know, how everything went in culture, on the internet, all this shit. I hope you like where you are right now.
What?
Like the present. I hope you're enjoying the existence would fucking happen, but everyone just wants.
But predicting people to get sponsorships is not a high bar to guess. I mean, when esports was starting out with Evo and this and that, like, it wouldn't take a rocket scientist to assume there'd be leagues for esports and it would be taken more seriously over time. Like, that's not a big brain thought that there would be sponsorships and this and that. Like, it's kind of like baby brain kind of predicting. Like, anyone could predict that.
Wanted to laugh at DSP for a decade. Good for you. I hope you like the present. I hope you're enjoying the existence of, you know, how everything went in culture, on the internet, all
Colin?
this shit. I hope you like where you are right
I don't know
now.
who this is. They can talk to the voice.
All of you who are so dependent on me to get any kind of attention for
Okay, I
yourself.
want to hear this again. Let's hear this again.
I hope you like where you are right now.
What does that mean? So because we didn't listen, we have to like where we are right now. So right now, DSP has got some clout. So I guess that we have to eat it on that, I guess, right?
All of you who are so dependent on me to get any kind of attention for yourself, I hope you like the fact that you have to be a DSP parasite for the rest of your fucking existence.
I don't have to be anything. Like, this isn't my end-all be-all. I mean, I am what I am. And it is what it is. Like, who cares? Like, other people can pivot away from this. Some people can't. Whatever. But at the end of the day, like, you know, I'm not gonna burden people with my life. Like DSP. So, there you have it. Like, because that's ultimately the problem people had with DSP, is that this dude made his own personal problems your problem. Like, I'm not sitting there telling guys, I got bills to pay, guys, let's pay bills. You know, yeah, I'm not a successful artist. Wow, shocker. Because being an artist is such an easy profession, right? Everyone can be an artist. Everyone can make money off it, right? Correct? No. It's a hard profession. And me not being successful doesn't mean that it's like, oh, it is what it is. And sure, I may be considered a failure, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to try to get something out of it. Like, because at the end of the day, like, if I'm not doing what I like doing, and I don't try to make it work, that's on me. I mean, there's things that I have to do that I may not like. But I'm not gonna sit there and make my problem everyone else's problem. If I can't make something work, I have to figure something else out. Like, that's how life is. If something doesn't work out, you have to find some other way to make it work. You can't just sit there and be like, guys, I don't. And it's kind of bothering or bothersome, whatever the fuck, where he just sits there and waits for money to come in. Like, it's so bad during the streak. That it got to the point of, instead of finding ways to continue the streak or whatever, it was him just sitting there staring down the chat until someone gave him the money. And it's like, this is what you can do to get money? You're not going to find another way. Like, you're not going to just eat the L and be like, okay, the streak is done, and we'll just continue it again, and we'll find some other way. Instead, he just sat there until someone wheeled it out, until someone didn't. And then, instead of finding other ways to continue it, his solution was, well, let's just have the goals hit be accumulative. So it's nothing really significant or meaningful to the content that changed. It's just how he counts it. Because the bigger problem about the streak ending was his ego. That he wouldn't be able to brag about having 100 streaks of support. So instead of it being a streak, it's just accumulation, which allowed him to aggressively beg for more, which is very funny that you'll start to notice that it's, as far as I remember, or from what I've seen, he only begs for double goals hit on the night stream, which is kind of insane because it's a 2-hour stream at night and he wants to hit double the goal. Meanwhile, on the day stream, he's more okay with hitting one goal. So why is it okay to hit only $150 one time on the day stream, but at the night stream, he wants to double the goal only on the night streams, it seems? Why? You stream less at night than in the daytime, so why are you begging aggressively at night? And that's all that has done to his content. It has not improved in any way that made people want to give him more money. He has not uploaded new merch on his merch shop that it's merch that he didn't even make, by the way. Like, there's all this stuff that just didn't work out. That he's not doing. He's not finding other creative ways to get paid. Come on.
Because you have no actual value on this planet outside of sucking blood from me. You're nothing but a mosquito, and one day
This is literally childish what he was saying. This is like a Chris. He was channeling Christian, and a lot of people were making fun of this shirt for saying it's like inverted Christian or whatever the fuck, and that's what it is. But he doesn't need the shirt. He does it anyway. That power is so strong. He doesn't need the shirt to channel his inner Christian. He can do it on command.
Hey, you're gonna get swatted.
And then this like nonsense is insane. You're gonna get
Okay.
swatted.
I got a couple shout outs to do, and then we're gonna end the show. We don't have time to do in one day.
Now, does it sound like a cool guy? Because remember, this guy says, I'll go after people. I don't agree with that because I'm such a nice guy and I don't want to waste my time doing this. I don't. Oh, so I do that. I sue a detractor. So what is that? I won, but the detractor was 12 years old or whatever. And now we're back to fantasizing about suing detractors. Man, DSP, you can't really brag about how you're a cool guy and fantasize about doing the thing you said you don't do.
You're gonna get swatted. Okay. I got a couple shout outs to do, and then we're gonna end the show. We don't have time to do
Hold up.
the Steam year in review now. It took too long. Okay?
He talks about suing people. I wanna react to that. Man, when did he? I know he brings it up there, but does he bring it up in this podcast? Let's find out.
Have a panel there to click on, like almost mirror images of each other.
Okay.
Visit it. You'll try local places you did for the show before. From Nico, I'm looking forward to your year-end. I wonder how many calories.
Okay, he's
Hey,
talking about this. I don't
So,
care.
ladies. All right.
All right.
So, here we go.
Oh boy.
It was actually my fourth most played.
Oh man.
Past like the 80s and 90s, what it was like to be a game. I don't get people, man. I don't. Mr. Hanky, no, not Mr. Hanky.
Let's see.
No, not the new washer dryer. Basically, when we were out a couple
Oh.
weeks ago, remember a couple weeks ago, my day off, I said we were out all day. It was very busy. It was the holidays. Everyone
go.
was out. Yeah. Basically, we did some Christmas shopping then. Got it done.
Okay, so it was.
Can't just say, hey guys, I'm taking a week off now to sue a detractor, and I'll be back in a week. Now I have no money for the week, right?
No,
So
no money for the week. No. Christmas week begins. Okay.
it's possible that people completely raw restream and rebroadcast. Good for you. I hope you like the present. I hope you're enjoying the
Oh, here we
existence of,
go.
you know, how everything went in culture, on the internet, all this shit. Hope you like the fact from me. You're nothing but time to do the Steam year in review now. It took too long. Okay? All right.
All right.
Ours you the dollar tip.
A dollar tip. A dollar.
It's possible that people completely raw
Oh, boy.
restream and rebroadcast me because YouTube doesn't take action on anything unless you have a lawsuit. So if
He took down Raw before, though. It was for the React stream. He did that before. Huh?
I had if I called a lawyer right now and I said, I'm a full-time broadcaster and content creator,
He did
and there is a
talk to lawyer, by
YouTuber
the
who
way.
literally only 100% steals my content and re-uploads it or live rebroadcasts it somewhere with no commentary, criticism, or anything to make it transformative. It's blatant theft. I could immediately have an injunction slapped on that person, that channel. I could have it completely shut down, and I could immediately begin the process to sue them for damages for any estimation of loss of income that I would have gotten from them rebroadcasting me. So for
But what income would he get, though? Think about it, though. In reality, he wouldn't get a lot.
example, let's say, for example, right now on this stream, I have 300 viewers. I don't even know. I didn't look. Let's say on their stream, they have 600 viewers and they're monetizing. So I can argue whatever monetization I'm making on
monetize?
mine, double it, and that's what they owe me legally. And I would win it in a court of law. But the problem is the U.S. court system is so convoluted, it would take me years upon years upon years to actually sue them properly.
Again, this is what he's talking about, and just remember, he's again. He doesn't care. He doesn't believe in taking down channels.
It would take insane amounts of money, effort, and time. And I'm a content creator. I don't have time to sit around with lawyers all day, in a courtroom all day. I don't have time for it. I'm a blue collar worker. I have to be here to earn money.
What?
I can't
I'm
just
sure
say, hey,
everyone loves it when he says he's a blue collar worker. They are like, yeah, Phil, you are, man.
guys, I'm taking a week off now to sue a detractor, and I'll be back in a week. Now I have no money for the week, right? So,
But you're suing for the damages, and you could say that's part of it, and then you'll make the money back. Huh?
to me,
But which is also kind of funny because he gets residual income anyway, if you think about it. So he's not really losing money because go back to when DSP Gaming was in jeopardy, and he'll tell you every day, every second he can, I make the money off the legacy videos. That's the bulk of his income, according to Philip Burnell. And now it's that if I don't stream, I can't make anything. Isn't it funny how that works? Some days the legacy content is the big payday. The other day it's the streams and not the legacy videos.
it makes more sense to just continue to make the positive content and move forward and ignore the lawbreaker. You get it? So,
Get it?
essentially,
So then
it just doesn't make sense for me to do it.
It
But
doesn't make sense to swat the fly.
if there ever was someone who was so egregious, I have
What
the
does
legal
that
right
mean?
to do it whenever I want.
What is egregious? What would institute an egregious thing that would make him want to do that, right? Because he has people that are just straight up rebroadcasting as it is. Like, that's not egregious enough? What's egregious? Would they literally have to make more money? Yes, that's what it would take. They would have to make insane amount of money that he's motivated to take that money away from them. So if someone ever makes $1 million off of DSP, guess what? DSP is coming after you. Even though you have $1 million and you can probably hire better lawyers than DSP and somehow steal the copyright from DSP or whatever the fuck.
You know, all I'll say is this: these motherfuckers better hope I never win the lotto, because if I win the lotto,
Oh, this is a cool thing to say.
all of a sudden, out of nowhere,
By the way, he said this. If I win the lotto, that's not gonna be anything. It'll go away pretty quickly because I got bills to pay, man. That's how real life works. But guess what? When you win the lotto, half the danger is that since they report the winner, they're gonna you're gonna be a target to be stolen from. You know what I'm saying? That's why, like, you know, some people say I don't want to do the lotto because if I win it, then you know, half the money is gonna go into security or whatever the fuck.
as if you never expected it, but it'll happen, I'm going to have a lot of free time.
But I thought you wanted to stream. Even if you win the lotto, don't you want to stream too? But this is like a bluff. This is him just saying it because he knows it's never gonna happen. If you know something's not gonna happen, you'll say anything. Guys, I'm gonna run for president, and then when I become president, I'm gonna make it legal to live for free. No one will be able to buy no one will need money for anything. Housing, free. Food, free. Water, free. Healthcare, free. Everything will be free. If I become president. Yeah! And then like, because no one's gonna vote for me because maybe if they're super duper crazy, maybe, but I mean anyone can say anything if they know it's not gonna happen. That's the point I'm making. Like, DSP knows that he'll never win the lotto because he doesn't do the lotto, guys. I hate to break it to you. This guy probably doesn't do the lotto. He probably says he does so that he can continue the LARP of being poor. He loves LARPing as a poor man. He loves it. It's one of his pastimes. Guys, I live within my means, guys, as he lives in a gated community.
And I won't care if I make money. I'll just care about getting back at those who tried.
But if you don't care about money, it's about the principle. Why do you need a lot of money to do that then, right? Wouldn't the principle outweigh the financial risk of suing someone? Don't think about it, because obviously they need to pay bills because Cat makes nothing, right?
To suck my blood. Get it?
Get it?
So you
I hate this get it thing. I'm telling you, this is a new DSPism. Get it?
better hope I never buy a lotto ticket.
Yeah, you're not though. And if he does, that's a waste of money. You know what? It is a waste of money. Think about how much money you had to spend to buy a lotto ticket, and how long are you gonna be doing that until you get a winning one? What if the amount you spend outweighs the amount you win? Right? It's a sunken cost fallacy. So you're losing money. You're bleeding money off of a possibility that something may or may not happen. And this is the guy that doesn't want to sue someone directly because it would take too much time. Okay.
Anyway, I just received a $2.25 tip
Fuck him. Fuck him,
from Mr.
Phil.
Puffy Nipples. He says, speaking of these stores closing, I found out these department stores still have a website. Bed Bath & Beyond, Circuit City, Radio Shack, Sears. Yeah, they're there, but they don't exist. The companies went out of business, and what happens is they have what's called intellectual property. Their logos, their name brand.
Yeah, okay, he has to explain to him how the internet works. Of course he does. Of course he does. Now let's go to the Daily Wrap.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening,
Welcome
everyone.
to the Daily Wrap.
This is the old one, though.
What was
This is not the new one.
Friday, the 20th of December, 2024. Including, as you can see, the final form of my streaming setup after many
final
weeks of
form.
upgrades, many weeks of technical issues. I think I've damn cool, I would say, in my opinion. Like every day I'm going to have a new setup here with lighting,
Okay.
a whole to scam me and get me to click a link to do a as they couldn't use it anymore because I exposed it. Well, guess what? Oh, who this happened to and how incredibly asinine it is. I got into a lot of that, and
There's something I want to bring up in this.
by the end of it, basically the podcast was over. I was like, oh, so I guess we can't do the Steam year in review. We'll just save it then, which we are. We're going to save it for
This is
Sunday
very
morning
weird.
show.
What do you
Now,
mean,
FYI, just to squash any complete nonsense, okay? During this segment, someone had brought up, they tipped me and said, hey, Phil, isn't it unfortunate that, say, 10 years ago, when you talked about this kind of stuff on the internet, people listened and you could spread the word about a scam or something bad like this and people would care and actually, learn from you and then maybe avoid it. But in this case, you talked to us on the podcast earlier in the week, but, no one outside of your circle really pays attention anymore. So you wonder how many people.
No one would listen to him anyway. Even before the trolling, he didn't have that big of a reach. He thinks he does because of the Sopa Pippa thing, but again, that's riding on the algorithm of other people doing it. No one reacted to it because of what he did. Again, I think Nostalgia Crit talked about it, AVGN talked about it, Ego Raptor probably talked about it. Everyone was already talking about this fucking bill.
People actually got hit by this scam, and if only these morons on the internet hadn't basically dragged you through the mud for a decade, people would actually have learned ahead.
But again, the people who got hit by the scam, they didn't get hit by it because they didn't know it was a scam or whatever, or they didn't know that there's a scam like this or whatever the fuck. They fell for it because they either did not anyone could fall for anything. I'm sure there's a good possibility that people who everyone on the planet has fallen for a scam one way or another. That's how things happen. And the best you can do is once it happens, you just deal with it. You take the L and you come back from it. Now, of course, when you lose your channel, that is pretty bad. But again, that's just part of the risk. Things happen. People's accounts get hacked. But he acts as if like he is as if like if he wasn't a lolcow, no one would be scammed because DSP would stop the scammer.
Ahead of time and been helped. So I went on a little bit of a
But again,
tirade.
But you know what? No, actually, you know what? I'm glad I'm watching this part because I almost forgot this other tidbit. By the time DSP started talking about the scammer, guess what, guys? People were already scammed. So it didn't matter. None of this matters because this, you know, I think that's what I was struggling with saying earlier. But you know, everyone came to this conclusion. It didn't matter. It didn't fucking matter. When he started talking about this fucking scam, people were already scammed. So if it was truly about stopping people from getting scammed, why didn't he talk about this before people were scammed? Why did other people have to be scammed for him to talk about it? That's not how that works. He only talked about it because the FGC were already targeted. He didn't say anything before that. And I don't think you could see the date of when he got that DM from the LED company or whatever the fuck he got a DM for. I don't think that was dated. I think it might be timestamps, but it doesn't have the date. Because that would be a very interesting thing to see as to when that happened and then when people started talking about the FGC getting hacked. Because I guarantee you, it either happened the same time or after. Because he didn't talk about it until after they got hacked. So this whole thing of if people listened to me, this wouldn't have happened. You didn't even talk about it until it happened already.
About it, quite frankly, because I agree completely.
This is like trying to stop a murder after the murder happened. Like, you can't stop a murder that already happened, dumbass. I should have said something, but no one would believe me because I read in a story that this murder happened, and I could have stopped it if I just said murder was wrong before the story was produced. What?
And basically what I said at the very end of it was, listen, these people on the internet who defame me, who illegally restream me, it's all illegal what they do. And the thing is, I don't have the time, resources, money, or really the energy to sue people for this awful stuff that they've done for me.
He said that after. Not before the swatting thing. He said that after.
For a decade, which I very well could. All right. But essentially, I'd prefer to just do positive stuff moving forward. But they better just be very happy that I'm not filthy rich. Because if I were a giant YouTuber, if I hit the lotto, all of a sudden I could have a lot of free time. And maybe I would actually sue one of these idiots into the ground just on principle, not even to actually make money.
Again, this dude is sitting there and he would pearl clutch other people if they were saying, this guy, I did this thing and sure it was fucked up that I did it, but he's coming after me and he's making like I can't like live my life now because he's suing me into the ground. I can't afford healthcare. I can't afford food. And Dee's like, I can't. Look, this person is apologizing, and you know they didn't do this with that kind of intent. This person, he fucking sued them into the ground, man. That's fucked up. But guess what? DSP wants to be that guy, secretly deep down in his little pig brain, because this dude's a piece of shit. Like honestly, you know, I just remember growing up, my mom would tell me like, wow, everyone in America just seems to be so sue happy. They all want to like sue people to solve anything. They don't want to talk to you. They just want to sue. It's fucked up. This would never happen in Greece. And I was like, damn, I guess not. Wow, man. But DSP is the stereotypical businessman that will go after people and sue them into the ground. But guess what? Actually, you know what? I just realized he did do this. Nintendo has the right of their games, and they're like, well, we should get their ad revenue for them playing our games. So we're gonna exercise our right and claim that. And he's like, they can't do this. That's fucked up. And then he would also complain if they targeted an emulator guy, or whatever, if Nintendo would sue anyone, DSP would be the first to say they're in the wrong. But DSP, given the opportunity, would do anything Nintendo would do. He'd be the streamer equivalent of Nintendo. No lie. This dude, it would do the same shit. He's Nintendo incarnate. See, Nintendo is a business, and you can at least chalk everything up what Nintendo does as a business decision. But DSP loves the LARP as a CEO guy. He loves being that guy. He wants to be CEO man. He wants to be that. That's his calling. But he's a failure. He's a failed CEO. He's a CEO that couldn't become one. And he's left as a streamer. Because everything he's acting is exactly how a CEO guy would act, if you think about it.
Money, but just on principle. And the way that I used an analogy, I said, maybe one of these mosquitoes that's been buzzing around and biting me on the neck all along, maybe one day they're just going to get swatted.
Now, this is how little DSP thinks of the common viewer. Normal viewers would just say, okay, yeah, he said, like, saw them like a fly. Okay. Like, it's self-explanatory. Anyone would come to that conclusion. I watched WPIG react to this pre-stream, and they only mentioned it as like, oh, it's doxing. Oh my god, threatening to swat someone, and it's very clear that they knew that's not, like. But then when he said like swatting a fly, like, okay, he's not saying that, but imagine if he did. Like, it's that kind of situation. Like that's what most people are saying, but whatever. Okay.
Like a bug, you swat the bug. So
But this is a little
I'll leave it at that for now. And
so he brings it up, and then he clickbaits you to watch the whole video for him to talk about it again. Why? You're talking about it right now.
I'll tell you why I'm bringing that up at the end of this daily wrap. So then we had today we were talking on the podcast about, well, actually we were talking on the Stalker stream about what we should do in regards to the reward. If we hit 20,
okay, I don't care about
of 20 right now, but hopefully it's a fun one too. $1 contribution. So if we get, I am hoping that people will watch this and say, hey, we want to see a double.
He has been swaying, like, people have been noticing this dude has been swaying way more lately. Like, he is literally going metronome mode. Just this is like what I do when I do the DST tries it shit. Like, it's that level of cartoonish to this point, where he's literally going out of the camera to sway. This is insane. This is, like, I'm telling you, when I do DST tries it, I try to do the most insane rocking back and forth you can imagine, because it's just funny. It's just funny, and he's doing it unironically.
DSP tries it, one on Sunday and one on Monday. And if that's the case, if I hit 2 goals, like if I guys can purchase your ticket, get a big over the world, the top contributor.
By the way, this didn't happen because he lapsed us. We changed the schedule the day of, and as DSP says, people freak the fuck out if he ever did anything like that. And I was freaked out. I was like, what the fuck? He's not doing Flight Sim? Oh my god! And then I threw my computer down the stairs.
Contributor gets to pick where we're actually flying, which is really neat. So I hope that it works out. I hope that people will show up and enjoy on Sunday, get a big setup, and hope. Okay, we'll see what happens. All right. So I'm out of here to upload, to edit, superb system, all these, getting.
Wait.
The recording, the streaming, the editing, the RGB lights, the stupid processing that wouldn't work, and me changing on Sunday for holiday week.
Where is the thing?
Ward. If we hit 20, now, unlike the Vatican, which is you're confined to the Vatican, here it's like an open desert with areas to explore.
Did he forget?
On the podcast about.
Oh, here we go.
Well, actually, we were talking on.
It's not really at the end
about what we should do in regards to the reward. If we hit 20,
no.
I can do DSP tries it during the Christmas event.
What?
On Monday.
Oh my god, this dude, I'm losing it with this dude.
On top of it, like 2 chicken nuggets that just on Sunday. By the end of the first stream on Sunday. Aaron's, it's going to be you can pick the characters that
Did I mishear him? when he mentioned it? Because I thought he said he was going to talk about it more.
But they better just be very happy just on principle, not even all along. Maybe one day their daily wrap. So, you know, like a bug, you swat the bug. So I'll leave it at that for now.
I'll leave it for that for now.
And I'll tell you why I'm bringing that up
I'll tell you why I'm bringing that up
at the end of this.
at the end of this daily wrap. Okay, so let's fast forward.
Highlight of the day, so we'll see if I want to do that or not. And so there was other funny stuff too. There was other moments where I was trying to find an item I could to do, and a lot of the times you end up wasting time. It's gotten dumb in that regard.
Okay.
But I still enjoyed the stream, and we actually hit our support goal. So we actually got, I believe, number 18 now. The Great Circle. Indiana Jones and the Great Say.
Oh.
That I said I was going to.
Oh my
why
god.
I brought up.
See how dumb this fucker is? He said at the end of the daily wrap, my guy, this isn't the end of the daily wrap. It's 5 minutes in. Oh my god.
That whole story I talked about on the internet earlier today is because if you can believe it, my detractors are actually trying to say that I said I was going to swat people.
Who? Okay, you know what? Did he stream say it? Did he say it? Let's find out. We're doing some fact checkery. Let's see. He wage quits the political content. That's not it. $300 DoorDash. No. DSP becomes a real PC gamer. Starts Christmas begathon demanding $300. Clean up his mess after threatening detractors with harm and litigation. Okay. Oh, it was a Duty video. Oh, dude, he loves Duty. He keeps talking about him. Wow, it was Duty after all. He doesn't want to say it by his name anymore.
Because I said they're mosquitoes biting my neck, and one day maybe I'll take the effort to swat them. They actually are now trying to take that out of context and put it on the internet as if I said I was going to swat people, which I never did. So just so you know, if you hear it and you see it out of context, that's what it means. These people are deranged and will do anything they can to try to make me look bad. It's just another case of that. Okay.
Well, I got more context. I showed the video he was probably talking about.
So anyway, then we had Indiana Jones and the Great.
And then he talked about Indiana Jones. Again, this is out of order. He said he'll talk about the end, and he talked about it in the middle. That's not how the language works, my guy. But this dude is insane. Insane. Let's see. He's not streaming now. He's gonna stream soon, though. So I'm gonna wrap it up here, guys. Thank you for watching. It's been fun making vids, and hope you guys enjoyed it. So it is what I'll let you guys go. Have a good week. Have a good rest of your life, and just remember, don't be fake. Keep it real. Keep it real.
I feel the vibe.
All right. Bye bye.
Time to skedaddle on out of here.